California Biodiversity Day 2020 is going to be celebrated on September 7th. And in fact, biodiversity is so important and makes California so special, we're going to celebrate the entire week. The Department of Food and Agriculture is really pleased and proud to join with the Natural Resources Agency, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and other departments who spend every day working hard to restore, to preserve, and to enhance California's biodiversity. You know, this is a wonderful atlas that was published almost 15 years ago by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and it's a beautiful telling of how special biodiversity is to the state of California and how unique it is. California is a biodiversity hotspot in the world. We have 1,500 species that are only found here in California, the most of any other state. Now, this book lays out very well what makes California unique from geography and geologic kinds of viewpoints. First of all, we have this fabulous Mediterranean climate, one of only 5 in the world. We have the highest point and the lowest point, and all those microclimates in between that really contribute to the biodiversity that it's easy to take for granted. The plants, the animals, the insects. But of course, biodiversity is the foundation to a healthy, thriving agricultural production system too. Our farmers are right there on the edge of natural working landscapes, food security, and interacting with our natural environment. And the most important thing for me, because I love farming and food production, is our soil. You know, we forget that a quarter of the species are under our feet. Our soil. One handful of soil contains more microorganisms than all the people on the globe. That's pretty remarkable. And our farmers take care of that soil and the land that gives us the bounty that it does with a number of different practices. They are always looking at how to sequester carbon, which will give them longer-term productivity by storing carbon in their soils. It increases water holding capacity. It has other multiple benefits like stopping erosion and helping to preserve biodiversity. It improves the resiliency of our plants and overall helps us fight climate change. We have a number of examples of what different farmers do around this state. Almond growers have put in hundreds and hundreds of acres of pollinator habitat. We know what the rice community has done for more than 2 decades to really make their rice fields in the wintertime home to a multitude of species, 230 to be exact. And in the wintertime, that Pacific bird flyway is host to millions and millions of birds. The California Rangeland Trust published how easements can help preserve ecosystem services and the biodiversity on rangeland. That study of what they've been able to do to conserve rangeland, over 306,000 acres, concluded and quantified over $900 million to almost $1.4 billion in ecosystem services. Those natural public goods that come from how we steward our land, including preserving biodiversity. I'm really pleased that the department's Healthy Soils Initiative is a key part of our biodiversity initiative across agencies. Why we've been able to invest $40 million in incentive grants to our farmers to plant cover crops, to put in hedgerows, to plant riparian habitat and pollinator habitat, to use compost to sequester carbon and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and build up our productivity over time and improve the biodiversity that's underneath our feet. Critical to us as living beings. Biodiversity, it matters for everything that has life on Earth. So, as part of the Biodiversity Initiative and the roadmap, our department is busy producing a soil atlas, a carbon map, that will show the state of healthy soils across the state of California. We're also introducing a new biodiversity webpage that's housed at our department's Office of Environmental Farming. I am here to say that biodiversity is important to California. It makes California the special and unique place that we call home. And it is a top priority for the Department of Food and Agriculture, for our environmental farming programs, and to every Californian. So even during COVID, each one of us can get out into that natural environment and appreciate the biodiversity that surrounds us and know that it's a priority for this state to preserve it, to restore it, and to enhance it. Let's celebrate on September 7th by getting into nature and celebrating our biodiversity.